welcome to the Good Friday edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I just managed, I think, to put down my mug of tea before the webcam went live. I'll show you it, actually. Look, this is my mug. This was a gift from a viewer. It's a Let's Get Kraken mug. Thank you very much, Marussia Dark, one of my favourite mugs. I have 3 favourite mugs, and that is one of them. Anyway, that's by the by. What are we doing today, you may be asking? Well, we're going to have a look at a puzzle called Pigeonhole, which is the one on the screen. Very pretty looking thing. And it's by Miky. Now, what I should have done is to do some due diligence on exactly how hard this puzzle is. I haven't got a clue. My recollection, I have done a Miky puzzle or two in the past, is that Miky is a very, very brilliant setter. And I fear this might be quite hard, therefore. But I don't know. It's been recommended to us many times and is apparently brilliant. So I do know that. Now, what else can I tell you? Well, the reason I sort of started the webcam without doing my due diligence is that I've been very busy this morning. I recorded a crossword video for the Times Masterclass series that Mark and I are trying to do every Friday. I achieved something in that video that I'm not sure I've ever done before. So if you enjoy our cryptic crossword content, check that out. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen now. Mark and I actually had a very enjoyable evening last night. We went to see Dave Gorman in Dorking, of all places. And Dave was, as you might expect, extremely funny. And I hope I'm not giving away anything by saying there is even a section of his show about cryptic crosswords, and you can imagine that Mark and I enjoyed that very, very much. We think we might even know the identification of Jane, but I'll say no more about that. What else can I tell you about today? We've got a couple of birthdays to do on Good Friday. Rebecca, it's your birthday today, and I know this because your boyfriend Benjamin wrote to us. And Benjamin told us that apparently you use my videos as a cure for insomnia. It doesn't surprise me. You're not the only one. Yes, and at many parties in my life, I fear that I have produced this skill that I seem to have. It's innate in me. But anyway, Rebecca, I hope you have a brilliant birthday with, of course, lots of chocolate cake. And then Abby, you've turned 20 today. And I know this because your girlfriend Orla wrote to us. And Orla says that you're going to have carrot cake today, which I can live with. And Abby, have a brilliant day today as well. Now, what else do I need to tell you about? We've got our Knightmare on Sudoku Street Sudoku hunt going on. This is the Skunkworks brilliant series of puzzles. There are lots of puzzles in that hunt featuring the nightmare constraint, and it's very hard to get your head around. It's a constraint where basically cells separated by a knight's move can't sum to 5 or 15, and it leads to lots of weird logic that you probably haven't come across before. So check that out if you're a patron of the channel, and of course for your support. We thank you hugely. Frankly, we could not do this without your support, so thank you. Now, what else do I need to tell you about? We've got our gas app out, and I need to read out the names of successful solvers of last month's Alice in Sudoku Land competition. So very well done to Manuela Tempestini, Palfly Campling, Jacob Walker, Jim Ferry, Solren Hulda, Matthew Pearson, Nicholas Sadell, Fulvio Masoto, Morgan Karpusky, Osher Lerner, Andrew Houchin, and Howell Adams. You all sent in the correct entries. Very well done indeed. Yeah, I've got the wrong glasses on. I've got to wear my magic glasses if I'm going to solve Sudoku. Whoa, and now we have the few seconds where I can't see anything at all. Right, but all that said and done, let me read you the rules to Pigeonhole, and we'll see if we can tackle Miky's puzzle. So these are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so that means we've got to put the numbers 1 to 9 in each row, in each column, and in each 3x3 box, once each. Each purple line contains a consecutive set of non-repeating digits in any order. So if this line here had a 1 on it, then we know the line, because it must contain consecutive digits, has to have 2, 3, 4 and 5 on it. But we can sprinkle those in any order we like. That's how purple lines work. cells separated by a black dot contain digits with a 1 to 2 ratio, i.e. one digit must be double the other. We've got a grand total of 1 black dot in the puzzle, so if this cell was a 1, this square would have to be a 2 because it couldn't be a half. If that was an 8, this would have to be a 4, etc., etc. Cells separated by a white dot must contain consecutive digits. So white dots, if this was a 1, that would have to be a 2. If this was a 2, this would have to be either a 3 or a 1. Just make sure that the domino contains consecutive digits. And then not all dots are given. So what that means is this domino up here could absolutely contain digits that are either consecutive or have a 1 to 2 ratio. Just because there is no dot doesn't mean we can't have a dot relationship. So it's just, there is no negative constraint is the posh way of saying that. Do have a go at the puzzle. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. Okay. So all of these Ren bands are the same length. All of the purple lines, which is what we'd sometimes call them Ren band lines. I can't remember why. They are all of length 5. As the grandfather clock goes off in the background. So they've all got 5 on them. 1, 2, 3. Ah, alright, that's quite interesting. Okay, I was quite worried about this to start with because I couldn't really see any clever geometry. I still can't see any clever geometry, but I can tell you there might be some geometry now to do, or some thinking about patterns in the grid, because there are 2 things we've just learned. We've learned that each of the purple lines has to contain a 5, and that's because each purple line is of length 5, and if you think about the numbers 1 to 9 and you're going to slice a set of 5 consecutive digits, then even if you start with 1 you'll get as high as 5, and if you start as high as 9 you'll still go down to 5 on the other side. So each of these lines has a 5 on it, and there are 9 lines. So there are 9 5s on the line, but there are also 9 5s in Sudoku world, aren't there? I.e. there are 9 5s in total in this puzzle. So we have to put a 9 in there, we have to put a 9 in here. There, we've got to put a 9 in there. So we have to allocate the 9 5s, I might have said 5 9s, I'm not sure. But we have to allocate the 9 5s in this puzzle in an even more constrained way than usual, because we haven't just got 9 5s allocated, 1 per row, 1 per column and 1 per box, but we've also got 1 per line. So what I'm going to do, am I going to do this? Yes, I am going to do it. I'm going to actually highlight all of the cells that are on lines, and then what we're going to do is we're going to stare at it. And the reason I want to do this, I hope I've got all the cells that are purplified there. The reason I want to do this is then I can remove cells from this yellow morass that we've built if we work out that they can't be 5s. Whereas I couldn't remove, obviously I can't remove the lines from the grid. So this might be the simpler way of doing it, although so far I thought that one was going to be good, but it's not, because I was thinking if that was a 5, could I put a 5 on that line? I can actually, I could put one there. So it's going to be something like that, I think. Right, I've got one. That cell can't be a 5, because if that cell was a 5, this line, which we know must contain a 5, couldn't have one on it, because a 5 there sees the whole of that sort of arrow tip line. So that's not a 5, which means the 5 on this line is now relegated to rows 8 and 9. What about this one? That, yes, this one is probably where there's some magic. So again, if that was a 5, that would have to be a 5, because this line must have a 5 on it. No, same thing is true of that one, of course. If that's a 5, that's got to be a 5. Sorry. I'm sure that there is... I'm sure there's cleverer stuff here than I'm spotting. What about... Okay, there's another one. That one. That sees the whole of that line. So that can't be a 5. Oh, right, I should have stayed with the arrow tip. Okay, here's another point that's quite cute. What about that cell? And the corollary would be that cell. If either of these was a 5, you couldn't then put a 5 in box 5 at all, because we know that the 9 5s in this grid also have to appear on line cells. So if I did put a 5 here, the 5 that I put in this box, because it couldn't repeat on the purple line, would be not on the purple line, and that would imply that the puzzle had 10 5s in it, which it doesn't. So this cell and this cell are not 5s. Right, so now there is a 5 in one of those 3 cells, which I'm prepared to pencil mark, actually, in case that triggers something. No. No, it didn't. Oh, Bobbin's face. Oh dear. Okay, so that's not how to do it either. What about rows and columns? That column has only got 2 possible positions for its 5. And this row has only 2 possible positions for its 5. That one. Okay, that one can't be a 5, because it would stop there being a 5 in column 1 at all, because we couldn't repeat the 5 on the line if that was a 5, so that's not a 5. That is interesting. Okay, so now in this box, where do we put the 5, given we can't put it in those 2 squares? We know it's got to be on a line, so it's in one of those 2 squares, which means these are not... Oh, this has done it. Now we've got a digit. The only place for a 5 left in box 7 is there. That is a 5. Right, and that means none of those can be a 5. So the 5 in box 8 is now on the line here, which means that's not a 5. One of these 2 is a 5. So now the 5 in box 9 is in this domino on a white dot. So that, oh, well, loads of things happen from that. This is not a 5, and these are not 5s. So the 5 in box 6 is now one of those 3 cells, so it's not here. It would repeat on its line. Okay, so now we can ask where the 5 goes in row 6, and there seems to be only one possible position, which is there. So this is no longer a 5. Ooh, it's getting interesting. Okay. That's not a 5 now. Oh, I see. So we can just keep doing this. So where does the 5 go in column 2? Is that really true? There seems to be only one place it can go. And that 5 is going to rule out all sorts of gubbins, because none of these can now be 5. And we can't repeat 5 on this line. So the 5 in row 1 is now forced. So that's 5. None of these are 5. This is not a 5. This line needs to have a 5 on it. So that goes there. These two can't be 5 now, which means that in this box that's a 5. Good grief, we're going to get all the 5s, aren't we? Yeah, that's the last place for a 5. And that's the last place for a 5. Bingo. Boom. Done it. Okay. That, well, actually, if we stop there after 15 minutes, that's a beautiful puzzle. Thank you very much, Mikey. I really liked your puzzle, Pigeonhole, but I suspect we've got more to do. But that was actually very cool. And wow, okay, that's very, very suspicious as well. Look at all every single white dot in the puzzle touches a 5. So 4s and 6s are presumably going to be where we have to look now. Okay, so I'm going to colour these for sure. I know I don't normally need much excuse to colour, but I definitely... These two are... Right, yeah, so let's start with the ones in box 5. These two are clearly different. They're in the same box. So we'll make that one green and that one... I was quite keen to use yellow. As I can delete my colouring for the 5s and I'll make that yellow. So that's got to be green. That's got to be yellow. So that's got to be green. That's got to be yellow. That's got to be green. Here we go. That's got to be... I'm not sure what that one is. Or what about this one? Well, or this one. Let's actually think about the black dot here. That's got to be 2, 8, or 3. Because it has to be either double these digits. It can't be 12, obviously. So if this is 6, that's got to be 3. If this is 4, it's got to be 2 or 8. Okay, 1 second now. Let me just think about it. Let me think again. Okay, there's interesting things going on here. This Z pentominoid shape purple line is an extreme Renban, I'm going to claim. Because whatever this digit is, it cannot appear on the Renban, because that one would see this cell as well. So imagine that was a 4. This Renban now cannot have a 4 on it, so it's got to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If this was a 6, it can't have a 6 on it, so it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this Renban does have a yellow on it. Well, it not only does it have a yellow 4, 6, it has all of the numbers that are, you know, that side of 5 that go with the 4, 6. So I don't really know how to do that. I sort of want to... Maybe we've got to go 2 colours. We'll go 2 colours for this line. And the grey means all of the digits that are on that side of the 5 along with the 4 or the 6. So if yellow was a 6, grey would be 7, 8, 9. If yellow was a 4, grey would be 3, 2, 1. But I wanted to record or find a way of showing that this line, it has nothing to do. It really, really abhors the green 4, 6 and any digit connected remotely closely with it. These are not nice neighbours. Okay. See, this might... Can we see anything else clever like that? This line can't have a yellow on it. Okay, alright, yes. So this line can't have a yellow on it. When I say yellow, I mean a yellow 4, 6. So this is an extreme line that must have a green on it. The green can't go there. So the green is in one of these... Ow, Bobbins face. One of those is green 4, 6. Which could be interesting. on. Let me think about this. If we knew that this was green, everything would flow from that, because that would have to be yellow, and that would knock yellow out. That would put the yellow there. How do we get this to be green? We stop that one being green. How do we stop this one being green? I don't know the answer to that, I don't think. But okay, there is a consequence, though, of one of these being green. And that's for this line, which now cannot have a green on it. Well, not by green, I mean the 4-6 associated with green. Look, that can't go there or in these two squares. So this is another extreme Rembrandt. It's the same as this one up here. So this has got to be populated with grey. Right, and now I can do it. Oh, this is really cool. This is really cool. Okay, here we go. So, that cell is this. Oh, this is going to be complicated to explain. It sees all of the grey digits, and it's not the yellow. And we know that grey is on the same side as of the 5 as whatever yellow is. So this is either green itself, which it can't be because it sees green, or it's more extreme on the green side of 5. Yeah, okay, the way to do this is to have a colour like that's the equivalent of grey for green. So we'll use blue for that. Yes, okay, we'll do that, and we'll say, look, these digits are most certainly blue. So if green was 4, blues are going to be 1, 2, 3. If green is 6, blues are going to be 7, 8, 9. So one of these is blue, one of these is green, but we don't know which. So we'll get rid of that there. But watch. Now this square is absolutely blue. It could have been green. In fact, it's not green, so it's blue, which means that this line must have green on it, because blue is further, the only way of going from the yellow 4-6 through the 5 to a blue digit is through the green 4-6. So this has got green 4-6 on it, and that seems to be the only place it can go. And if that's green 4-6, that is not green 4-6, which means that is green 4-6, and that means that's yellow. And if that's yellow, that's not yellow, that's not yellow, so they're both grey. This has become the only place on the top line that can be 4 or 6. Now by Sudoku, that cell is yellow, so that's 4 or 6. By Sudoku, that cell is 4 or 6. I mean, it is outrageous that I'm being made to do Sudoku. That cell's become a green out of absolutely nowhere. So there are 4 greens now looking at box 1. So we put a green in the corner, not a 3 in the corner, a green in the corner. That's green in the corner. That's green in the spotlight, losing its religion. That's just a green and 3. They're sort of double E words, aren't they? Now, okay, well that was very exciting. That's why Rebecca goes to sleep. Hang on. Now what? Now what do we do? Now, well, I tell you what we do. It's simple. No, it's not simple, but this line now has become very constrained. Green is not on this line. So this is another extreme line of the nature of the yellow line. So this is filled, it's replete with yellows and greys. And where does the yellow go? Not there, not there, not there. So that's yellow. That means these 3 digits are all grey. So yellow is placed in box 3. So this line's becoming all very cluttered now. We've got 4s and 6s and 5s. And that digit So if that was a 2, this has to be a 3 to make the line consecutive. If it's a 3, 6, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, so then that has options. And if it's an 8, that has to be a 7. Ah, okay. Okay, right, let's think. Can I do all the greens now? Yes, I can get another green look. I've got 4 greens. That's green. Okay, so that's green. I've got all the greens, and I've got all the yellows, and now all I have to do is allocate somehow the rest of the digits. So how are we going to do that? The answer is I don't yet know. Okay, these 3 digits are all blue because this line cannot have a yellow on it. So that's an extreme Renban on the green side of things. So they are all blue, so they are all grey by the power of Grayskull. Now I've got to put blues in this row, so there are 3 more blues to go in. Oh, no. Okay, so this is sort of a blue-grey pair. And this Renban, well, it's got 1 of each on it, hasn't it? These 2 squares are a 3-7 pair. Because if we look at the constituents of the line, we've got the 4-6 pair with the 5, and 1 digit that's slightly higher than 6 and 1 digit that's slightly lower than 4 in order to make sure the line is consecutive. Now we don't know the order of these lines, but we do know therefore they've got to be 3 and 7. Which might be interesting. I don't know. Ah, I've got 3 greys. I've got 3 greys in box 2, so all of those have got to be blue. I've now got 3 blues in this column, so that's got to be grey. This sort of thing is just so... I love doing this. Look, I've got 3 greys there, so that's got to be blue. And now I've got 3 blues in here, so these have got to be grey. I've got 3 greys here, so these have got to be blue. Okay, that was going so well, and now it's stopped. What about... hang on, let's have a think. Have we populated? No, we haven't populated all of the lines yet with colours. We don't know what that one is, or these 2 actually. We don't know what these 2 are. Oh, I know what that one is. Okay, this is interesting. Look at this line. Now, this line has a blue digit on it. So that digit, well, so once there is any blue digit on a Renban line, there must be a blue 3-7, because the only other digits it could be is blue 2-8 or blue 1-9. But okay, given we know there's a blue digit, in order for this line to be consecutive, it must contain the blue 3-7, and that blue 3-7 can't be there, so that must be blue 3-7. Whoops, not blue 3-8, blue 3-7. So this now is either blue 2-8, I don't really know, but the problem is it could be grey 3-7 as well. I don't know what that is. I do know those are the possible numbers for it, but I don't know what it is. Okay, so now we're getting stuck, aren't we? Let's keep thinking about... What about this line? This line I don't know much about at all. I need to be able to colour some things in on this line somehow. Can't see. Ah, no. I suddenly thought I got 3 blues in this row, but I most certainly haven't. Okay. Alright, now we're getting stuck. And it was going so well. What we might have to do is to sort of start to disambiguate, you know, within the grey set and within the blue set. Which is a slightly terrifying thought. Yeah, I mean those 2 digits are the same digit, for example, because we know that there must be this digit, which is grey, must appear on this top remband, which is also an extreme grey remband. So the only one that could pair off with that is that one. So those are the same. Let's label those A. These are A. Okay. That may have been the world's worst piece of pencil marking. A lives down there. Oh. Okay, I can. Alright, I can get this one labelled on the top remband as well. I was thinking that was going to be easy to do. It wasn't at all. Label that one B. Where does B go in this box? Now it can't repeat on its remband, and axiomatically it's not A because A is already on this remband. So the places for B are in one of those 2 squares, which seems to mean that the only place on this top remband, this now can't be B, so that must be B, which means that's C and that's C. Now, has that helped us? The answer to that is no, probably not. Well, okay, that's C now by the power of ABC. So this is an AB pair. C is in one of these squares. B. Oh, hang on, I've had a better thought. I have had a better thought. Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm now going to start bluifying lots of cells. That cell sees A, B, and C. That cell sees A, B, and C. That cell sees A, B, and C. So none of those cells is allowed to be blue. And allowed to be grey, because they see all 3 different flavours of grey digits. I'm just staring at this a bit longer in case we can do even more. Oh, this is still worth doing, actually. This is still worth doing because now I've got 3 blues in this row. So those 2 have suddenly become grey. No. Look, I've got 3 blues in this car. Oh, that's good. That's good. I've now got a grey on this line. Well, no, that is good. I was about to be upset about that because I was thinking, wouldn't it have been nice if that had been a grey 3-7? Because then I would have known that this line had to have grey 3-7 on it, and it would have had to be that one. But there's a different way of thinking about that, which is to say, if this line had any blue digit on it, it would be a blue 3-7, and blue 3-7 is looking at that cell. So nothing on this line can be blue. So that must be grey. We might have been able to, I don't know if we could have done that a different way. Maybe, I'm not sure. But this column is now greyed, so that's blued. Which means, what's blue? Blue is not B. It's not B. That's not B. So B is here. So we've got 3. So now we've got blue here. And the same thing happens again. That's blue 3-7. Because how could that not be blue 3-7? Once it's blue, we have to put blue 3-7 somewhere on this line. And it's not there by Sudoku, so it's there. That's blue 3-7. Blue, oh, I don't want to put letters in. I want to put blue 3-7 in. So this is blue 37. That is blue, I've just seen. I haven't got the blues. Oh, look, we haven't got these either. Can we not do those already? I'm not sure. Blue 37 is in one of these two cells. That's good. Okay, so where does blue 37 go in this box? Not here. One of these two. Therefore not here, not here. So that's blue 37. So this is blue 37. Oh. No, then we get like an X-wing of blue 37s that we can't fix. One of these is blue 37. Oh, well, we can do that, because one of these is blue 37, and that's blue 37, and that's blue 37, that's blue 37. So that's super. Well done on the blue 37s. Okay. So that was fabulous. Have we finished the puzzle? The answer to that is no. But I do think that we're not doing terribly badly. Okay, that digit is there. So that's, we might be able to move away from letters soon. Or not. If that's... do I know, can I colour these two digits in or not? This is either, it's either blue 28 or it's grey 3, exactly. That, I bet you that turns out to be grey 3, because that would feel the way that the puzzle would sort of, you know, disambiguate between high and low digits. I'm not sure there's anywhere else we've seen where that would really take effect. Okay. Could we... do we have to colour more digits in? Is that what we have to do? I've just seen something. That is apparently blue 37, which can't repeat on its line. So that's blue 37. So that's blue 37. Have I got all blue 37s in the grid? I have. So blue 37 is finished. So perhaps I've got to start labelling up other digits as well, like that digit. What do I've got A, B, C in the grid. Right, this is going to be D. D in the corner. That's D in the corner, so that's got to be D. So that's got to be E, and that's got to be E. So that's got to be E, and that's got to be D. Oh, nearly. It's nearly worked. That's got to be E. It went a little bit of distance, didn't it? This is an ED. This is an ED combination of E's and D's. Can we do... oh no, we can keep going. That's D. So that's E. So that's E. Oh, that has worked. That's weird. By the power of Sudoku, I seem to have proved that's E. And if that's E, that's grey. And now I've got 3 greys in this column. So that's blue. And therefore it's the other digit, which is D. So that's D. Which means... oh, we've done it. We've done it. We have done it. These are grey by the power of Sudoku, or sort of colouring in this box. And that digit, therefore, has to be very close to the 4 or the 6 on the grey side. So it's not 28, that's 3. That is actually 3. That's the first digit in the grid. That's 7. So we now know that blue digits are high digits. So, well, we know all of the 3 7s. I don't know if it'll... no, I didn't think it would. Maybe if I... it does... oh no, it's highlighting the grey 3 7s as well. Okay, we're going to do this slowly. So we're going to go through all of the blue 3 7s and fill them in with 7. Have I done that? Yes. Now we go through all of the grey 3 7s and fill them in with 3. And we now know, now we mustn't get this wrong, but green was the blue side of 5, wasn't it? So once we know that that's 7, we know this is 6. So greens are all 6s. Yellows are all 4s. And okay, so now hang on, that certainly doesn't seem to be able to be 3 anymore, does it? C's 3, and I don't see how that can be a 2, because 2 is not going to be consecutive. There needs to be a 3 on the line for it to be that, and it's not 7, so that is 8. And 8 is therefore blue, so that's a blue digit. Oh, I think we could have got that. I think I could have got that a different way just by colouring this line. That's now a 9 by Sudoku. That's therefore 9. So E is 9. Let's fill in all of the E's. So we can't quite fill them all in, but therefore D is the 8 digit. So D can go in. Boom, 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 boom. So this is an 8-9 pair, and we now know these are a 1-2 pair, and one of them is a C. Well, okay, so all we've got to do now is figure out how to just fill in these other digits. I don't think it should be that hard to do. I feel like this was the big step that we had to climb over. This is a 1-2 pair, so this is a 1 or a 2. Oh, okay, so there's a 3 down here. I don't know which I can and that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Okay, that's fabulous. So we found a 3 there. 3 is in one of those cells. 1, 2. I must be able to get this 8, can't I? Oh, this square's a 3. So this is a 1 or a 2. Is that surprising? No, that's beautiful. Okay, because look at the configuration of this line. It's got only 2 grey digits on it, so it can't have a 1 on it. It's got to be a 2. So that's 2, that's 1, that's 2. This has got to be 3. So this square C is 1 and 2 and 3, so it must be 1, which means B is a 3, which means that's a 3, that's a 3. I've been getting distracted with my letters, so I've probably made a total horlicks of not using the letters as I could have done. But anyway, it seems to be filling in roughly, doesn't it? That's now an 8. I'm a bit worried the blue digits I've got a deadly pattern on, but I might be wrong about that. I really hope I haven't. I really hope I haven't. Okay, so what are we doing? We're putting 2 here, I see, and that breaks the deadly pattern, because that puts 9 in this corner. 2s have all got to be grey. 3s have all got to be grey. So that gives me a 9 here, an 8 here, an 8 here, which is the final blue digit of the puzzle. And this is a 1. And unless I've made an absolute horlicks, which is possible, that is one of the most beautiful puzzles you'll ever see in your life. Just staring at it as click tick. Yes. Absolutely stunned that was. That was stunning. Start to finish stunning. And what I thought was so clever about this is it was doable. Even though, you know, the logic in it was very interesting. It didn't take sort of, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours to solve it. You could just sort of pick it apart by thinking about how the red bands all had to be coloured in. That was one of my favourite puzzles of recent times, Mikey. Absolutely loved it. Pigeonhole indeed. Goodness me. Let me know in the comments how you got on with that one. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.